Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm just going to do a few spoken word pieces I've done previously over the years in various shows. They're all short. They're all comic. They all have some kind of nerd angle to them. Some will be a little more performance-y oriented than others, and some will just be straight stories. And I'll just start with this one. And this is pretty much just a straight read thing. Here we go. The Journal of Arlen Grossmuller, October the 18th, 2015. I've been having the worst couple of months. I lost my job, my girlfriend dumped me, and my favorite character on The Walking Dead just got offed. I've lost all sense of direction in my life. Nothing has any meaning. It's times like this when you realize something is missing. A spiritual connection with the world, myself, and a higher power. And obviously this can only be learned one way, by unquestioningly accepting a religious dogma and blindly following a strong, charismatic leader without hesitation. This is why I attended the Tri-County Faith Fair yesterday. I took a good, impartial look at the local houses of worship. Here are my notes. Catholicism. Synopsis. The first Christian church, maybe kinda sorta. Pros. Cool art. Fun hats. Cons. All that kneeling. And this transubstantiation stuff. The wine literally turns into the blood of Christ? Ugh. Lutheranism. Synopsis. Founded by Martin Luther, who I guess is a different guy from Martin Luther King. Pros. Low effort. I wouldn't have to explain anything to mom or dad. Cons. I can't cook. Baptists. Synopsis. The granddaddy of good old-fashioned, God-fearing, hellfire and brimstone, don't do anything fun religion. Pros. Many locations. Charming accents. Cons. I don't know about this total immersion baptism thing. I get swimmer's ear like nothing. Seventh-day Adventists. Synopsis. I guess they started as a way of not fighting for Germany in World War I or something. Pros. Presumably anti-war. Cons. Church on Saturday? That's my day off! Judaism. Synopsis. The Jews. They don't believe in Jesus. Pros. Pretty hip. They have beards, and their comedians are super funny. Cons. This bar mitzvah crap sounds like a lot of work. Unitarianism. Synopsis. Everyone's religion is right in their own way, except the Unification Church, which is a whole different thing despite having almost the same name. Pros. Inclusive. Cons. What's the point of joining something if you can't exclude somebody? Gnosticism. Synopsis. Nuh-uh, Catholics, we were the first Christians. Are so? Uh-huh. Pros. This idea that the material world is the creation of a false god to separate us from the real world is exactly like the Matrix and therefore cool. Cons. The Matrix sequel sucked. Christian Science. Synopsis. You're not really sick, it's all in your head. Just pray the ick away. Pros. Even with the Affordable Care Act, health insurance is still pretty expensive. Cons. I exercise, get enough sleep, and drink plenty of orange juice. The People's Temple. Synopsis. I don't know. They don't talk about their past much. It was founded by some guy named Jim Jones, and they don't talk about him much either. Pros. Lots of free Kool-Aid. Cons. No grape. The Church of Satan. Synopsis. It's all kind of there in the name. Pros. Their liturgical music is bitchin'. Cons. Black robes and I'm a spring. Norse paganism. Synopsis. Odin is real, so is Thor, Baldur, Sif, etc., etc., etc. Pros. Their liturgical music is even more bitchin' than the Satanists. Cons. I'm not a blonde. Raelians. Synopsis. A French race car driver saw a UFO once and realized we are all descended from aliens. That is actually true. Pros. The hundreds of dollars I spent on X-Files DVDs will not go to waste. Cons. Everyone would laugh at me. Scientology. Synopsis. Oh, come on! Pros. Oh, come on! Cons. Oh, come on! The incandescent union of the soul. Synopsis. Mankind is the third vibration of the universal harmony, which reflects in the blue-green soul mirror of the Elohim deep within the pool of eternal transference. Pros. I have no idea what that means. They must be smart. Cons. Hard to explain to Mom. Steve. Synopsis. Just a guy named Steve. A voice told him he was God once. Pros. As Steve is God, I have significantly more access to the divine than going through a clergy or laity. Cons. He wants to crash at my place for a few days and just until he gets back on his feet. Ziggy's mushroom cult. Synopsis. Hippies, sort of. They like to party, like a lot. Pros. Pretty laid back, cool art. Cons. Patchouli and jam bands. Agnosticism. Synopsis. Who knows? We don't. Pros. Kind of refreshing to meet someone who admits they don't know everything. Cons. Is there a con to this? Who knows? I don't. Atheism. Synopsis. There is no God. That's basically it. Pros. Pretty easy to do. Cons. Not actually a religion. So that's it. After discussing the various faiths of the various attendees of the fair, I don't have much to show for it. A lot of literature and some pretty nice freebies. I particularly like the Christian Scientist keychain and the Satanist can cozy. But no real direction. I want someone to tell me how to think. How can we get through life without blind obedience? Then it hit me. The process of finding the truth is an ongoing one. It's the nature of a leader, not just a religious one, to claim to know the truth. It's their job to convey certainty, but with so many different leaders insisting on so many different kinds of truths, the only possible outcome is uncertainty. I'll have to examine these beliefs on my own and determine if these individual beliefs have some piece of the truth or no piece at all as a part of a continuing process to uncover the whole truth. This means, in a sense, the leader I must follow is unquestioningly myself. The Church of Arlen Grossmuller will hold its first service this Sunday at 10:30. Coffee will be provided. Please bring a dish to pass.
Next up on the agenda
Yeah, let's do this one. This is a little more performance-y oriented. Yeah, hi guys. I know it's been a while since I've been going to group, and I'm sorry about that. I just felt I had to work on things on my own for a bit, and I think you can see the results. Yeah, I've lost 50 pounds. Yeah, thank you. I got so much more to go though, and I know, but 50 pounds. I didn't think it'd be possible. I mean, people look at me and they say, "Wow, I didn't know you had legs." And I'm like, yeah, I know. I feel so much better now. And I look better too, in ways other than being slimmer, Like, people tell me my color is improving. Like, I didn't even notice that. I mean, I always had kind of a jaundiced complexion, really yellow and everything. That's kind of gone away. I'm just so happy and proud of myself. I never could have done it without the tools you've all have given me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Because, as you know, overeating was always my big issue. This was obvious to everyone. It was kind of my signature. The guy who eats everything all the time. It was basically my whole identity. My entire life revolved around eating. Get up in the morning, eat. Go to work, eat. Walk down the street, eat. Oh, I pretended it wasn't all about eating, that I had other things in my life. I could play those kind of games with myself all the time. For instance, I always made a point of eating a piece of fruit. So I'd like it, eat, but then I'd have a cherry or a strawberry, maybe a peach if I was really going whole hog that day. But I would tell myself that because I had that one piece of fruit, I was eating healthy. Yeah, and all that other junk was just wiped out by a couple of cherries. I was clearly telling myself a lot of lies. And essentially, the eating just wasn't enough. It wasn't fulfilling the gigantic hole I had inside me. And so that's when I started eating the pills. It wasn't a big thing at first, but I just eat one pill so to have enough energy to do what I needed to do. Right? But and this is an old story. I know so many people have been there, but I just had to keep eating more pills. These big, fat pills, Soon I was up to 4 a day. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but these were huge pills. I mean, there's always this vicious circle when you're an overeater. You feel bad about your appearance, and what you do when you feel bad, you eat more. Oh, God, I look horrible. Nom, 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 nom. And it wasn't just the weight, I'd be more sensitive about my appearance in other ways. Like what it really bothered me when people told me I looked like my wife. I mean, I know couples sort of grow to look like each other, we've all heard that, but I just find it so infuriating. I mean, she wears a bow. She always wears a bow on the side of her head. I mean, clearly I don't wear a bow. And she wears a lot of eye makeup. But, she likes to wear a lot of eye makeup. That's great. That's her life. But I do not. Not that there's anything wrong with a guy wearing a bow and eye makeup, really, but I guess this got into kind of a weird area I didn't intend. But damn it, we don't look alike. I'm still kind of working on that trigger. Another appearance issue is, I hated my big fat mouth. And I don't mean I talk a lot. I mean, I've got a big fat mouth. I mean, there are these two things everyone would notice about me: my round, dumpy body and my big mouth. And Clyde, this dick at work, he'd always bring it up. Hey, no wonder you're so fat. Look at all the food you can jam into that mouth of yours. Ha, ha, ha. God, what an asshole. Excuse my French. I'm still working on accepting that nobody's perfect, that we all have to accept we are not perfect people. And that our bodies are our bodies. We're not all going to be Scarlett Johansson or Chris Hemsworth or whatever. And I just have to accept that I'm short. I've got a very round body type. I'm a very round person. I'm never going to be tall and thin. I don't have the skeletal structure for that. And that was difficult to accept, but I think I've made a lot of progress. I realize now just how much running away I've done. I mean, I was always running away from the ghosts that have haunted me my whole life. Like Clyde. I mean, I told you about Clyde before, right? Well, Clyde is, kind of a coworker, I guess. I mean, he keeps chasing me around, getting him in my face. It's smothering. Sometimes I try to get away from him by sneaking through this side door, which works for like 10 seconds. Then lo and behold, Clyde is right in my face again. He just jumps out and grabs me. I mean, he literally grabs me. I mean, what the hell? Is he like 6 years old or something? I'm still working on not letting Clyde get under my skin. I've been relying on my support network. Mario's been a big help. But sometimes, it's really dumb, sometimes your friend will just say some simple thing and it just sets you off. Some piece of advice that just isn't going to work for you. Like yesterday, as a way of taking my mind off things, Mario recommended I go see the new Muppets movie. And I'm sorry, but I just really hate the Muppets. I mean, Fozzie Bear, wacka, wacka, wacka. I've had more than enough wacka, wacka, wacka in my life, you know what I mean? But he means well. I just got to keep telling myself that. And that's okay. It's nothing. I've got so much in my life to be thankful for, like my wife and my son. I really hope he follows in my footsteps, I think we all want our sons and daughters to do that. I mean, not my exact footsteps. I don't want them to get caught in the same maze I've been caught in for years. But I want them to follow me in the family business. I mean, that's really important for me. But again, I just got to work on letting go. I need to let him develop his own interests, his own identity. I mean, it's just hard. He's an adolescent and all that. We barely speak the same language. Like the other day, he said he needed to clear out a couple more Nordic ruins so he could level up in blacksmithing so he could build a Daedric cuirass and have a complete suit of Daedric armor to display in his Windhelm house. Like, I didn't understand a word of that. But we can work through this. I mean, I can do it. I've made so much progress with my weight, my relationships. I can shake off the ghosts that have always haunted me. And I have you guys to thank for it. Thank you. If nothing else, I'm doing a lot better than my friend Doug. I don't think he's ever going to dig his way out. Thanks again. Sounds like you picked up what I was hinting at. Let's try this one. Okay, this is somewhat, this is rather historical. And it's related to the very early exploration of the North American continent by Europeans. Hello, allow me to introduce myself. My name is John Cabot. You can also call me Giovanni Cabato, Juan Cabato, or Jean Cabot. I get around. Anyway, I'm here on behalf of King Henry VII of England. Here it is, the late 15th century, and His Majesty has decided it was time we get on this whole Asiatic trade situation. We had, if I may be so bold, a brilliant idea. Why take all that time to go around the Horn of Africa when we can just hop over the Atlantic and arrive in India in half the time? And so we have sailed across the Atlantic Ocean to reach out to you Indians and establish trade that I think you'll find mutually beneficial. We have all sorts of lovely beads and trinkets for your product. Indians. Well, we call you that because that's what you are, Indians. I mean, look around you. Deciduous forests with a humid continental climate featuring hot summers and severely cold winters. Clearly, this is India. And you are therefore Indians. Anyway, England in particular and Europe in general is extremely interested in establishing trade with you fine fellows, especially spices. We love your spices. I can't get enough of them. Couldn't have a proper mulled wine without spices now, could we? Oh, come on, don't be coy. This is India, the land of spices. You fellows have spices coming out of your ears. Seriously? You must have some sort of dried cedar root that you grind up and sprinkle it on food to make it more edible? Something to season a bit of beef or pork? Beef and pork. Okay, now you're pulling my leg. Okay, How can anyone have a functioning society if they don't eat beef and pork? Well, this is unexpected. I never heard of Indians who were unfamiliar with beef and pork, let alone spices. Let's try this. What sort of things do you eat? Fish? Well, of course, fish is a very popular dish. English are a seafaring folk. We certainly know about fish. Deer? Well, okay, certainly. Venison is certainly consumed. Nothing like the lads going on a good hunting expedition for deer. Turkey? Oh, I see. Sort of an ostentatious chicken. Not surprising. Poultry is a quite common meat. Squirrel. Hadn't thought of that, but I suppose so. I don't know what a raccoon is. But of course, why would the Lord God put any animal on the earth if it wasn't for humanity's use? I'm sure it's quite palatable. What else? I'm sorry, I must have misheard you. Really? That's quite unexpected. I mean, well, I've heard it's quite a pleasurable activity, but you can't really consider that a meal. I'm afraid I don't follow you. Well, over there across the stream. But behind the rat thing? The I understand. Oh, God, I get it now. You see, in England, we call something quite different a beaver. Is my face red? Okay, so you eat fish and deer and beaver. Okay, that's all well and good, but seriously, you don't eat your meat straight. I mean, there must be some kind of seasoning. I mean, it isn't just edible straight like that. What do you mean fresh? You just tuck right in? You can do that? Well, this has been a disappointment on every conceivable level. I have to say, India hasn't turned out to be anything like I was expecting. There we were, crossing the Atlantic, battling scurvy and dehydration for months, dreaming of cinnamon and pepper, and what do we get? Beaver. And if this whole fresh meat concept gets out, I mean, we're sunk. This was quite an expensive journey for us, and I'm afraid we got nothing to bring back to England. What's this? Is it something to eat? I don't understand. Really? That is that is messed up. Well, here goes. Wow, that is wretched. It's abysmal. Oh, God, it's so awful. Jeez. God, why would anyone do this to themselves? Do you have any more? These are dreadful. It's such an appalling habit. It's impossible to... Gentlemen, I think we got our answer. Short one. I am a member of a podcast called Get Off My World. It's a Doctor Who fan podcast that mostly has focused on the original series from the 60s to the 80s. And this was a piece I wrote for it. It's a parody of Shakespeare. And if you're not into Doctor Who or Shakespeare, it is the shortest thing I have. All the TARDIS is a stage, and the Doctor and companions merely players. They have their exits and entrances, and the Doctor in his time plays many parts, his act being 7 ages. At first, the grump, shaking his cane at these endless dullards. Then the kindly hobo, with recorder and merry jig fretting for his comrades and giddy aunts. Next comes the hero with a cape flip and a Venusian chop to an ogron's thorax. Then hither the loon, of sweet tooth and wild eye, short of temper, long of leg and scarf, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the key to time e'en in the fetid maw of Kroll. Next follows the blonde, a slave to neither sorrow nor joy, yet vulnerable, stout friend of his crewmen, ne'er bereft of celery, lest praxis gases befall the night. The sixth rise mad, strangling blind to color and manners soft, with cat on lapel, spat on foot, curls atop his arrogant dome, a life too short, cut sudden by numbers low, taking leave off stage. A blow to the head, assaults mental, we debate in fury. Last of the old guard, 'tis the dark vaudevillian, scheming, bumber-shooted, grasping the hand of Omega, while the tea grows cold. I don't get to do Shakespeare parodies very often. Okay, this is another one that's sort of a fake journal thing. Water. Day one, I have just landed a very big fish. After years of hustling around Hollywood, hanging out, banging out crap for industrials and whatnot, I will be writing a screenplay for a major release. Mr. Journal, you are looking at the screenwriter for the new Mr. Ed movie. After 5 other writers took a crack at it and left a steaming pile, the studio has now turned to me. I've waited my whole life for this chance, and believe you me, I am not going to screw it up. Day 2. Got the previous draft, I think. There's so much red ink on it, it could be a crime scene. Looks like it was some boring AF nonsense about a girl on a horse farm who discovers one of the horses can talk. Said horse is the grandnephew, it's pretty vague, of the great Mr. Ed, and the girl is the grandniece of Wilbur Post. A lot of uninspired misunderstanding gags. You know, the girl pretends what Mr. Ed said was something she said, and she must be getting a cold, so that's why her voice is so, I can't believe they went here, hoarse. Hardy, har. Anyway, the horse farm is going to be foreclosed on and, blah, 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 blah. No wonder why this screenwriter got the axe. I could write circles around this. Day 5. Been going around in circles. The producer and director are both emphasizing girl interest, but it's hard to pin down what they mean by that. I mean, girls are traditionally fond of horses, yeah, true, but they keep saying it needs to be girlier without giving any specifics. Do they just want me to put pink bows and glitter on everything? Day 12. More notes. The gruff but kindly horse trainer is now out. No old farts written in handwriting about double size and triple underlined. Fine. So long, Mr. Finster, we hardly knew ye. Day 17. Pitched making Ed a girl, too. Like Ed could be short for Edwina or something. Producer literally made the wrong answer buzzer sound from a game show. Too far off brand. Hit the liquor store on the way home. Day 38. The producers in the studio are now discussing whether or not the picture should be animated. Sounds like this is an old debate on the project. Producers are insistent it should be something like The Lion King, but the new one because that's the one the kids are going to remember. Day 44. Big argument about introducing other talking animals. Some say Ed needs peers of some sort, someone he can banter with who, isn't the girl, current name Jessica. Line producer says that will ruin the budget. Others say it makes the pick too much like a bajillion other talking animal movies. The executive producer could step in, but he's been busy. Some sort of pottery buying trip in Peru. Day 57. Been getting a lot of laundry done. House is spotless. Day 68. I can't get around the central problem of the story. What the heck do you have Mr. Ed do? I mean, he's just a horse, of course. there are only so many places for a horse in society. I mean, the horse race angle was killed several drafts ago because the director can't see Ed as a thoroughbred. Show jumping was also nixed. I mean, he's a palomino, he shouts between bites of pastrami on rye. They don't do that shit. So we settle on barrel racing, rodeo stuff. Good, solid American West feel. Day 70. Barrel racing is the most boring goddamn thing I've ever watched in my life. Who the hell could make this interesting? Well, at least I haven't gotten the does it have to be a horse note. Day 71. Just got the does it have to be a horse note. Gave myself a note, need to buy more whiskey. Day 76. Barrel racing is out. Between calls from his girlfriend, the executive producer pointed to some market research saying that Western-style stuff is out with the kids today. Skews too old and too male and too Republican. They are now asking for more of a hip-hop feel, but not so hip-hop that they can't cast a white girl. Yep. I managed to pass off my spit take as a sneeze, hay fever or something. Now I got to figure out how to get a horse into L.A. Day 89. Took a 2-hour shower today. Couldn't work up the gumption to get out of the tub. Day 101. Line producer doesn't think it's possible to CGI animate a horse spinning turntables. Not without losing the essential realism of the figure. Yeah, there goes my dance-off climax. Day 105. Been eating a lot of cereal. Day 111. Pitched the Fletcher Street Urban Writing Club. They were covered by This American Life once. It's a long-standing writing club in Philadelphia teaching writing and horsemanship to inner-city youths. Big aspirational angle. Eyes glazed over immediately. Too unbelievable and too black. I drove out to the beach and stared at the water long past sunset. Day 115. Executive producer is back from Peru again. Judging from his energy level and pupil dilation, I don't think he was buying a lot of pottery. He says he's cracked it, the whole girl appeal problem. Unicorns. Ed is going to be part unicorn. That explains the whole talking thing because unicorns talk, see? No, I don't see. He's the link to some sort of forgotten kingdom of unicorns, and the whole plot will now revolve around saving the unicorns from an evil music mogul. He gave me a gift bag of artisanal soaps and Split. Day 120, exhausted, headachy, and miserable, I walked away from the project. They say my check will be generous. Day 367, check arrived. About 10% above scale. Yippee. Day 419, Mr. Ed Unicorn Rave Party is given a February release. Of sorts. Just a few theaters in Pennsylvania and Ohio, as far away from the industry as they could book them. The executive producer considers this a positive. They were going to release it straight to video, if you can believe it, he said, leaning around the granddaughter-aged girlfriend he had sitting in his lap. He also said he'll keep me in mind in case any other horse-related projects come up. He did not ask me to do lunch sometime, which I consider a small victory. Day 421. Checked out Mr. Ed Unicorn Rave Party on Rotten Tomatoes. It's sitting pretty steady at 8%. Hey, we beat Ballistic X versus Sever. It's got to mean something. I got to get more whiskey. Day 502. I have just landed a very big fish. After years of hustling around Hollywood, banging out crap for family pictures, I will be moving to Wilmington, Delaware to become the house scriptwriter for a series of direct-to-the-web infomercials for the furniture industry. Ottomans are the next best thing, they say. I've waited my whole life for this chance, and believe you me, I am not going to screw it up. Thanks. My battery is running low. No, don't do that, battery. These things, I have a possible backup on my phone here. Yeah. I can use my phone if necessary.
This one is pretty much a straight story. The sea forest waterway boiled as something strange and ancient rose to the air. Two great horns cleaved to the surface, and then a massive head, elongated and skull-like. A bizarre, massive torso rose up, at once mammalian and reptilian, supported by powerful, vaguely humanoid legs and a huge crocodilian tail. The monstrous figure stepped upon the land, a foot the size of a van, slammed down on Uniminori Park with a staggering thud. Trees were brushed aside like cobwebs. Three huge and horrible red, pupilless eyes scanned the horizon, taking in the glittering landscape of the nighttime skyline. The swirling helicopters, the amassing navy, until their gaze settled upon the great needle of Tokyo Tower. Powerful clawed hands reached to the sky as Zargozan readied his terrible roar. Zargi, baby, so glad I caught you in time. The voice was strange, distorted, barely audible above the din of the frightened city. Zargozan ripped his head from side to side, trying to locate the source. There to his right was a helicopter. Not the military kind that hovered over Tokyo. This was a smaller model, the type used for traffic reports and the like. Hanging outside the door, tethered with a safety harness and holding a bullhorn, was one of the countless insignificant humans that had annoyed Zargozan for so long. His eyes narrowed. All humans looked alike to him, but there was something about this one's manner, his fawning tone, his toothy grin, his excessive jewelry and aviator sunglasses. That was familiar. Barry? The human cheered. Yeah, that's right. Barry Gottlieb, your agent. Well, you are one tough cat to catch. Not with the whole I'm too big to use cell phones and I can't get email thing you got going on. But listen, Zargi, darling, this breaks my heart. It really does. But the Tokyo gig is off. The Zargozan blinked, looked over at the Tokyo skyline, then back over to Barry. I'm sorry? Yeah, Tokyo's off. It's not on the sketch. It's kaput. Over.
Barry shrugged theatrically. The people who decide these things, the money men, the big kahunas, they just don't think you're ready for the A-list yet. Again, not my decision. From the bottom of my heart, Zargi baby, you'd be up there in the lights with the biggest. Ghidorah, Gamera, Kong, even the big G himself. The stars, they're just not in alignment yet. Zargozan kicked a tree into the bay. Oh, come on, Barry, I was this close. He held his thumb and forefinger about a meter apart. Yeah, no can do, big fella, but chill, relax. Center yourself a smidge. Take a deep breath. The barrister is out looking for his #1 client, and I got a spectacular new gig lined up for you, a real stepping stone to the big time. Barry gestured as though revealing a fully lit marquee, an impressive move while holding a bullhorn and clinging to the door of a helicopter. What about Topeka? Zargozan's shoulders slumped, a peculiar look on a kaiju. Topeka? Yeah, I know what you're thinking, big guy. Topeka, Palookaville, Podunk City, the boonies. But it's the heart of America, the breadbasket. It'll get you on the map. Even though his eyes were pupilless, everyone could see Zargozan was rolling them. But Topeka, what's there to wreck in Topeka? Turn that frown upside down, Z-Dog. Forget that Tokyo Tower jazz. Wait till you get a load of the Topeka Tower. 17 stories of steel and concrete sitting there like a ripe, juicy tomato, just waiting to get smushed. 17? Zargozan moaned. Seriously, 17? That's chicken shit. Chicken shit. Barry shook his head. You can speak your mind around me, Zargarino, but I am all about the honesty, but that hurts. That hurts right in here. Barry jabbed his heavily ringed finger at his chest. You can call it chicken shit if you want, that's your right, but what do I call it? I call it an opportunity to make your mark on the world. Zargozan paced in a circle, flattening trees without really noticing them. But Kansas? What am I going to do in Kansas? It's prairie, Barry, flat as a pancake. I'm a kaiju, for crying out loud. I'm 100 feet tall. How am I going to sneak up on Topeka? Where's the ocean to rise out of? Where's the mountains to creep around? Didn't say it wouldn't be a challenge, Zargy doll, but you're a smart guy. thing, monster, whatever. I mean, you're a smart one, Zargi. Brightest bulb in the Home Depot. You're not one of these knuckle-dragging, dumb as a box of rocks kaiju. You got the gray matter, Zargi, and I have every confidence you'll figure it out. The flattery started to take effect. Zargazon slowed his pacing. I don't know, Barry. Topeka? It's just kind of, the kind of city people make jokes about. What about Cleveland? Cleveland was on the list, Zargster. I was pulling teeth to get Cleveland, fighting for you every step of the way, but it turns out they had some sort of backroom deal with Mothra. I know, Mothra and Cleveland doesn't make a lick of sense, but hey, I guess Mothra always wanted to flatten Cleveland for some screwy reason, and she's got the clout to make it happen. No sense at all. But you know what makes sense, Zargi? Topeka. The West, Zargi, there is synergy there. The smooth, bone-like features of Zargazon did not permit frowning, yet somehow Zargazon was clearly frowning. Synergy? Synergy, Z-boy, the West. Cow country. 2 words, steaks, burgers. Who doesn't like steaks and burgers except vegans? And they aren't our demographic anyway, so screw them. We were talking deals with Wendy's, with the BK, and with the Sizzler. Sizzler Steakhouse, Zargi. It's a natural fit. Zargazon somehow frowned even more. I don't get it. Barry cleared his throat. Now, this might sound a little negative, Zargo, a little harsh, but you know you're Barry. I'm always straight with you, and I got your best interests at heart. It's just that when people see pictures of you, they kind of fixate on the horn thing, and the long skull face thing you got going on, which I love, by the way. Classic creep factor. But people, they zero in on these features, and what do they come away with is, a giant cow. They think you look like a cow, Zargi. I mean, that's their takeaway, not mine. Zargazon lifted his head and roared his anguish into the night sky. Seriously, a cow? A cow. Hate to break it to you, but comment cards don't lie. But you know me, Z-Dog. Oh, Barry, you got the wheels turning, and I said to myself, Barry, this is an asset, a gift from God. Cows, beef, that whole schmear, that's our in. Zargazon burgers, Zargi brand steaks. If we got the endorsement deals lined up like that beforehand, someone in cow country's got to say yes. So I got on the horn with San Antonio, Denver, Casey, all the big cow towns. And who picks up the phone? Who answers? Topeka. And there we have it, Zargi, Topeka, our into the big time. Zargazon sighed. But Tokyo Tower, it's right there. Barry, I have dreamed of wrecking Tokyo Tower since I was a puddle of undifferentiated biomass and toxic waste. Barry raised his eyebrows. Who hasn't? I'd wreck Tokyo Tower if I could smash that sucker flat. Except I need lifts, an apple box or something. Get it? It's because I'm short, Zargi. Too short for the tower smashing. I try to keep up. But we'll just put Tokyo on the back burner, save it for dessert. You know what I'm saying? We'll get a piece of that Tokyo pie soon enough. You dig? Now, how's about being a nice little kaiju and swim your way back across the Pacific? What say you? Zargazon rubbed the bridge of his nose and took one last look at Tokyo. The helicopters and ships had already cleared away. Tokyo, it seemed, had moved on. He scuffed his feet. It's just I wanted to tell my kids about this, if I can have kids. A startled expression crossed Barry's face. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. Yeah, sorry, gotta take this. We good? We're good. Love you. You're the best. He answered the phone. Geigen, buddy, how's it hanging? You get my text? Oh, Rio, baby, Rio de Janeiro. They want you to trash the place. Sun, sand, girls, the whole ball of wax. What do you say? He pulled himself back into the copter and signaled for the pilot to fly on. Zargazon waved goodbye. Barry Gottlieb, the best agent a kaiju could ask for. He suspected Reptilicus was blowing smoke up his ass on that one, and now he knew. He sat down heavily on the ground, snapping a couple more trees in the process. Tokyo was gone. It would be destroyed again and rebuilt again. How many times has it been? After so many rebuildings, was it even the same city anymore? Zargazon rubbed his chin and thought, maybe it wasn't. Maybe Tokyo wasn't the prize anymore. Maybe it was just another overbuilt, overhyped hunk of real estate. It had no real value, just symbolic value. Zargazon rose up, cracked his knuckles, and strode back into the water. Screw Tokyo. He had a beef with Topeka.
cell-phone battery, but I got one here that's actually paper. I know. High tech. This is more of a performance-oriented thing. So
let's get to it. Yes, thank you, Senator. For the record, my name is Epsilon, and I am a member of the Justice Crusaders, Upper Midwest Division. I would like to state for the record that I am fully certified for paranormal and parahuman law enforcement as stipulated under both the Siegel Act of 1939 and the Kirby Act of 1965. And subject to all the legal powers and limitations as described by those laws, and I am fully prepared to cooperate with the Subcommittee on Parahuman Affairs in this inquiry. My real name is Epsilon. I have had it legally changed. Yeah, one name like Cher. Okay, my birth name was Elwood Johnson. I have never actively pursued what is commonly referred to as a secret identity. When my abilities manifested themselves, it was in a public setting. There was heavy news coverage of the incident, so developing a secret identity was, to say the least, impractical. There's plenty of clips on YouTube. Epsilon is a Greek letter. I just like the sound of it. I had some difficulty coming up with a unique name. Most of the permutations of mental powers, mind, brain, tell this and tell that, have been taken over the years. I'm sorry? I believe that's public record, Senator. Okay, as per the Claremont-Byrne Act of 1973, I would like to formally state that my abilities are telepathic in nature. Specifically, I am able to read minds, communicate with individuals via thought, disable an individual with a mental attack. Essentially, I overload their thought processes, creating a state of extreme confusion that mimics paralysis, or with enough preparation, simply make them fall asleep. As you can see, I am wearing a neural suppressor, as provided by the Department of Homeland Security, and as required by law when a telepath is present when government representatives are within 100 feet. And I am unable to use my abilities at present. Yes, Senator, its certifications are up to date. No, I do not have mind control abilities. I cannot make an individual do something they do not want to do. I have had some limited success with projecting a specific image into an individual's mind, making them see something that's not there, but it's not an ability I've much explored. No, moving things with your mind is telekinesis. I am not a telekinetic, I am a telepath. No, setting things on fire is pyrokinesis. I am not a pyrokinetic. Opinions vary, but my intelligence is considered to be high average. There's never been a firm link established between mental acuity and paranormal mental abilities. Yeah, I've heard that joke before, Senator. It's a good one. I would say my ability to read stray thoughts without intentionally trying to read someone's mind is roughly comparable to overhearing a conversation between passersby on the street. You don't mean to pry, but sometimes it's just inevitable. On the date in question, I will admit I did pick up a few stray thoughts. They were trivial, everyday kinds of things, which is, why is so-and-so late? I forgot to buy the milk, that sort of thing. I did not pick up any stray thoughts from Charles Robert Peterson on the afternoon of July the 16th. He was some distance away. My pursuit of Charles Robert Peterson was not prompted by any telepathic contact. I was relying on simple powers of observation. I understand the perception that those of us in the parahuman community frequently, as they say, think with our powers, most likely due to the well-publicized incidents with Captain Atomica confronting the Metallic Warriors and the Living Blaze and that poor woman's cat. I merely saw Mr. Peterson's behavior as suspicious. Firstly, Mr. Peterson was the only person in the crowd wearing a long coat, and as we all know, this was in July. Secondly, he was alone and did not seem to be paying attention to the performance of Ms. Kayla Bright, who was reaching the climax of her hit, Everyone's a Star. Third, I just happened to be in attendance at the concert. Pure coincidence. Big fan. Bright lights, yeah. Third, Mr. Peterson's movements were odd and constrained, as though he were concealing heavy items underneath his coat. That would be a question for event security, Senator. He may have had some device like, Dr. Nasty's Omni screener, or the mesmerist's hypno-ray, which kept the firearms from being detected by security personnel and conventional equipment and procedures. They have been mass-produced overseas and are now available in what is colloquially known as the dark web for a couple of years now. I understand that no advanced scientific devices were found on Mr. Peterson's person once he was apprehended. I am merely speculating. But my point remains that security at the stadium was not what it should have been. Again, I was not in telepathic contact with Mr. Peterson, and I took action based purely on observation. I would like to point out that Mr. Peterson was not subdued with my mental abilities. I punched him. I have received some training from Black Vengeance, who, as you know, is well known as one of the world's premier experts in detective and security work, and the martial arts. No, Black Vengeance was not involved in the incident. I don't see how that's relevant. I have never seen Black Vengeance without his mask on, if that helps. I really don't need telepathy to know what you're hinting at, Senator. Very well, I withdraw the comment and apologize. The fact remains that I did not initiate, intentionally or otherwise, any telepathic contact with Charles Robert Peterson, and my realization of his possession of firearms was not due to telepathic or any form of paranormal contact. Yes, Senator, I am familiar with the Ditko-Miller Act. I am a law enforcement officer of sorts, and it is a relevant issue to my work, and I take it very seriously. I understand this is a mechanism for protecting the Second Amendment rights of American citizens by prohibiting telepathic contact as a means of determining whether or not a citizen is participating in the concealed carry of firearms, as it may be construed as a means of collecting data on firearm possession as a prelude to a mass confiscation of guns. Yes, Senator, I have gone on record as stating I find that a bit of a stretch. No, Senator, I am not a constitutional scholar or an attorney. I don't feel those are prerequisites for having an opinion on American law and policy. I'm just someone with a heart and a mind who, through the grace of God or Buddha or chance or however you may wish to view these things, happens to have some rare abilities and who chooses to use those abilities to serve and protect the innocent and lessen the amount of pain and suffering in the world in general and America in particular. I don't know how many lives I've saved by my actions, Senator, possibly several dozen, maybe 100 or more. I acted within the boundaries of the law, and I am confident that I did what any law enforcement officer or private citizen would have done in a similar situation. That's all I have to say. I understand Mr. Ted Nugent is very eager to provide his testimony, and I would like to not waste his time any further, and I thank you for your time, Senators. And that's time, pretty much. God, thank you so much for coming. I was so worried about this. It's opposite some really big